So after a brilliant race and yet another crazy result in Ecuador, I think it's time to get a bit back down to earth here in Mexico for round 13 of the 2003 season. That doesn't mean a bad race. It's definitely not. It's Mexico. It's always going to be good. But our eyes are firmly on the championship now. The championship battle between Etienne Jones, Sean Sutherland, and possibly late into shooting near David Panel and Miguel Malveiro, who are all involved in the championship battle. And maybe still a midfield surprise or two from Constant Skywalker or Leo Goria perhaps. We'll have to see what happens in these crucial last 4 rounds. And we'll focus on our grid today then. Our pole sitter is Miguel Malveiro, who, after a good run of form in the mid-season, has dropped off a little since, but he's still within a very close shout of the championship. And David Panau is in 2nd place on the grid. Etienne Jones are consistently our championship leader, will qualify in 3rd place. Tommy Toth in 4th, so good qualifying from him. Daniel Duarte will also be pleased with 5th place, with Sam Nathaniel qualifying 6th. Shane Odiemi qualifies 7th, with Michael Clark yet again out qualifying his teammate in P8. Leighton Deshoudemire P9, he will be hoping for more in the race, with Alex Loldemex next to him. McLaren Jurassic 11th place, while Sean Sutherland has a lot of work to do if he wants to stay on top. Ben Jones qualifying 13th place, while Kingsley Kamisoto qualifies 14th. That's not going to look good on his CV for 2004 as he fights to keep his seat at McLaren. Leo Goria 15th place, and alongside Constant Skywalker, those two have both had great seasons so far, but not a great qualifying here in Mexico. And the grid is rounded by the 2 Minardis of Ronan McAndrew and Jay Hamil in 17th and 19th, and the 2 Jordans of Jono Sotsadel and Jordi Alvarez, with both arrows on the back row as usual. And so it's going to be a wet track, but it's very likely to be dry conditions at the start. I don't know whether we'll see the track dry up or it will be a wet race all the way through, but either way, interesting conditions for the Mexican Grand Prix. So here we are, and it is raining ever so slightly, despite the fact it said it was unlikely to do so. It is doing that. Got different lights here. After all, this track does come from the 1988 track pack. So we'll see. Miguel Malveiro on the left, David Panel on the right. Who will get the better start? It's lights out and away we go. And it looks like Miguel Malveiro gets a great start there. David Panel though coming back in the 2nd phase. A great start as well for Tommy Toth, who actually looked down the inside of Miguel Malveiro already heading towards turn 1. Tommy Toth might be putting him under threat for the lead of the race. Tommy Toth will hold the inside line. They're still side by side. Will he be able to take it? It's still side by side through the chicane. A little bit of lag there. His tyres going everywhere. Tommy Toth still side by side with Miguel Malveiro for the lead. David Panel demoted to 3rd place as they head towards the 2nd chicane now. And Miguel Malveiro will have the inside line and probably will. Tommy Toth will have to settle for 2nd place there. Sam Nathaniel up to 4th. Etienne Jones down to 5th. We'll have to see what went on at turn 1 there. Jordi Alvarez in the wall at his home race. Very unfortunate for him. Oh my god, Constant Skywalker. She was just I don't really know what happened. It was just so the McLaren of Shane Odiemi was, well, Jordi Alvarez kind of mounted the McLaren, and not McLaren, the BAR of Shane Odiemi, and that just kind of spiraled into Constant Skywalker's car, who then bounced into the wall and back out of it. So that was a very sudden crash there. We'll get another look at it. And the other driver was very lucky not to get caught up in that. Although Kingsley Kamisoto and some of the others did lose a bit of time. Ronan McAndrew also losing a wing there. That was for a separate clash with the Sauber of Ben Jones. Just lost him his front wing. Unlucky for him. Great battles there at the start though, between Miguel and Tommy Toth. So you see the Ferrari of Leighton the Shooter and Sean Sutherland, 10th and 11th, still fighting it out for the championship of course, but they're not in positions they'd want to be. But we are seeing David Panayot possibly putting Tommy Toth under threat to reclaim that third place that he lost on lap 1, or second place even that he lost on lap 1. He takes a look up the inside of the Peraltada, but he's not going to make the move now. In fact, he's going to have to watch out behind him for Simon Nathaniel, of all people, who is now on his way to make that move for third place. Here he goes, up the inside, he will take third place. Alex Loldemex does the same to Daniel Duarte. And that demotes David Panayot to P4. And Daniel Duarte actually loses 7th place to Michael Clark in all of that. So down even more positions for him after a good qualifying. But he is still side by side with Michael Clark and he takes that P7 back. So yeah, Nathaniel and Loldemex making their way up a lot of positions. At the start there's Ben Jones in the background missing a wheel. What happened to him? Oh, John Saltadell with a very very late dive. Just kind of, it was a half dive, he didn't even fully go for it. He just kind of took off Ben Jones' rear wheel and bounced. Does he have wing damage? I'm guessing he does. Yes, he does. No surprises there. So we move on to lap 2 of the old layout of the Mexican Grand Prix. We're halfway through the middle sector. And now that run towards the Peraltada is here. A good place for overtaking. David Panayot might come to reclaim that P3. There he goes up the inside of the Peraltada. Just won't have the speed to do that. There's always this next main straight. Alex Loldemex doing the same thing, putting Etienne Jones under pressure actually. While Michael Clark might lose his points to McLaren Dreisig. These two obviously coming together in Monza. And now McLaren Dreisig might overtake Michael Clark for 8th place. And he does. Michael Clark goes off almost. Very, very lucky to keep it on the track there. Sean Sun just goes clean around the outside of him into 9th place. Michael Clark can't really come back at him into the second chicane. So at the moment the championship standings see Etienne Jones at the top on 48 points, 6 points clear of Sean Sutherland, and at the moment he's looking to extend that gap to 10 points as he's in 5th place with Sean Sutherland out of the points. Leighton Deschutes on 39, Leo Goro 37 and David Panayot on 36, which will grow to 41 if he finishes like this, or possibly 42 if he can finally get this move done on Simon Nathaniel. Still just can't find his way around in the Peraltada. There's always this long straight coming up to do it, and he's closer than he was last lap. He sets the fastest lap of the race. I don't think he'll quite be able to do it here. McLaren Dreisig moving up the order though. Daniel Duarte is next in his sights. Possibly up to 7th place, not quite, but there is an arrows off in the background. Oh, he's taken out Miguel Rivera. Miguel Rivera, lucky. Has he got any damage there? No, he hasn't. But he is going to have to wait for all these cars to rejoin. That means such big things for the title here. It's Miguel Rivera. He was on 32 points. Would have been on 42 after this race, but that gives the lead to Tommy Toth briefly. Sam Nathaniel taking a look up the inside there of the Hungarian, but he won't make the move. In fact, he'll have to watch out for David Panayot. They're side by side heading through the I don't know what this section of track is called. He takes 2nd place, and now Sam Nathaniel has to watch out for Etienne Jones, who himself is being put under pressure by Alex Loldemex. That puts Sean Sutherland in the points. All thanks to the arrows of Shaquille O'Neal. So, on board with him, Miguel Rivera just taken out. He's able to get going again, I believe, without damage, but it's in a lowly P14. If he can even find the track. No, that's not where you're meant to be going, Miguel. Oh, and he's given himself damage. Okay, that was fully deserved, I'm sorry. But that puts Tommy Toth in the lead of this race. Once again, we find ourselves with the Jaguar in the lead. Somehow a midfield car always seems to come through and do it. Alex Loldemex now taking a look at Etienne Jones. Even though I've actually, before this race, I slightly adjusted like the variability of the ratings, so we're less likely to see a surprise result, because in the end we get so many surprise results they don't become surprises anymore. But still, we're managing to get that here with Tommy Toth in first place, but David Panout is all over the back of the Jaguar. After his move on Simon Nathaniel last lap, he might be coming for Tommy Toth very soon as we approach halfway through the Mexican Grand Prix. The two Eastern Europeans up against each other. Romania versus Hungary. Who's the better driver? And Etienne Jones at the moment looking to extend his championship lead in 4th place. Will it go his way today? Will he be unlucky to lose that 4th place? Let's find out. Panout very, very close to Tommy Toth now. Parasada isn't really a great place to make that move though, and he's not able to stick it. Neither is Alex Loldemex for 4th place. But look who does make the move through the Parasada. It's McLaren Dreisig on Daniel Duarte. Can he hold it? It looks like it's about equal exits. So as long as he can hold that line towards turn 1, it should be easy enough for him. Alex Loldemex also with a good run on it. Etienne Jones not quite going to make that move though. McLaren Dreisig meanwhile can't stick it down the inside for P6, but he's still going to hold it round the outside of Daniel Duarte. There's an arrows off in the background. This is losing them both times. Sean Sutton's catching up to them now, as we see Tommy Toth under pressure in the foreground. Sean Sutton will close in on Daniel Duarte. McLaren Dreisig has finally made that move after that 2nd straight. And Sean Sutton will set his sights on the back of Daniel Duarte now, who has had 6 DNFs in a row. Definitely not on the best point scoring run. He has scored 1 podium this year, but apart from that, it's been a pretty dreadful year for Daniel Duarte. Panout then will look again up the inside of Tommy Toth, and this time he might get it done. No, he still can't quite get close enough. Neither can Alex Loldemex. There is this long straight which they can easily use. Sean Sutherland looking good on the back of Daniel Duarte. Here comes actually David Panout losing so much time there in the pelotada that he's going to have to watch out for Simon Nathaniel. Opportunistic move there. Leo Gore setting the fastest lap. Simon Nathaniel looks on the inside of David Panout. This is losing them both a lot of time, but Panout keeps 2nd place. Sean Sutherland also up to P7 after, I'm guessing, a move on Daniel Duarte. Easy enough for him, especially with that extra engine power. Now David Panout a bit further back from Tommy Toth than he would like. Simon Nathaniel also seemingly going defensive, not sure what for. Michael Clark now is the next driver to put Daniel Duarte under pressure. This man's though still leading the race, Tommy Toth. So very impressive from him. So we see a battle for P14, not exactly what I'd call relevant, but we move Ronan McAndrew up to 14th place. Not quite the win today that he got in Hungary. And now they come to negotiate the arrows of Brandon Liu through the Peraltada. Is this going to help out David Panout? It doesn't seem any closer than before, but it won't help out Simon Nathaniel at all, who loses so much time there. And that's going to put Etienne Jones and Alex Lodomex, who actually boxes Etienne Jones in with a very good run. David Panel is closing in on Tommy Toth. Is this the lap where he makes the move? They touch. They don't touch, actually. They come very close to touching. Alex Lodomex, though, can't quite. Etienne Jones up to P3. Sam Nathaniel is round, facing the wrong way. Alex Lodomex is round as well at turn 1. They'll rejoin in P11 and P12. What happened there? So Etienne Jones was just unboxed himself and just had a great run, moved up to P3. Sam Nathaniel moved out to the inside very late on, and Alex Lodomex hit into the back of him, which spun them both round. And McLaren Dreisig clipped his wing on Alex Lodomex, but Alex Lodomex didn't seem to get damaged, so absolute disaster for Toyota there. And I think that will put Kingsley Kamisota into P8, Leighton Deschutene into P7, Michael Clark will enter the points as well, and Duarte will be very happy with that one, and so will Sean Sutherland, as the gap to Etienne Jones will now only increase by 1 point, which is exactly what he needs. And is that Leo Goria in the background? What's happened to him? As he just parks it in the wall? Oh, he just kind of got lost. Does he have a problem with his car? Oh, he does, yeah, engine problem. My bad, I thought he just kind of parked it on his own. Here's Tommy Toth getting stuck behind the arrows of Big Shaq. He almost drives into the back of him, actually, but now that's going to help him out. A bit of a gap on David Panel he has now. Miguel Rivera is setting the fastest lap after his incident with the arrows of Big Shaq. Meanwhile, Etienne Jones also losing a bit of time to his title rival. These two are now going to battle it out. And also Kingsley Kamisota with the last double overtake there at Peraltada, at least I thought it might be. The arrow is kind of losing him time a bit now. But look, thanks to the arrows of Shaquille O'Neal. No, it's actually the wingless Toyota of McLaren Dreisig. It just makes that a triple overtake. And now we watch the two title rivals going at it side by side, heading into turn 1. It looks like Etienne Jones will just about get ahead. Sean Sutherland's going to have another try at it as they head towards turn 1. Etienne Jones just about gets his rear in front of the nose of Sean Sutherland. Later, the other Ferrari also trying to make his way past Michael Clark. It won't do it this lap. Alex Lodomex re-enters the points after his spin with Simon Nathaniel. David Panel still on a mission to catch Tommy Toth, as Leighton Deschutene goes offensive just to make sure of that Sauber. There is definitely a dry line forming though. Will anyone pit onto dry tyres? We'll have to look at that one. Some arrows on the grass at turn 1, unsurprisingly. But yeah, this track definitely does look dry now. It'll be interesting to see if anyone makes that switch before the end of the race. As Panel once again closing in on Tommy Toth. Sean Sutherland not with a great run through there, and he won't be able to make that move through the Peraltada this time. Same happens to Alex Lodomex. Sean Sutherland desperately wants that place though. Every point matters in this battle for the championship. They've both lost some through some bad luck at points in the season. They've both gained some through other people's bad luck. See, the first chicane basically completely dry. I'm not seeing much spray being kicked up at all. Will any of them take that gamble to go onto wets? Looks like there might be a problem there for Michael Clark. He does, he has an engine problem, I believe that says. I can't quite tell what that is, but he might have to retire the car. There's Miguel Rivera on the inside. So what happened to him? He just... Oh, it's just driver error. He just drives straight into the wall. And he will retire the car right on the racing line as well. Not the best from him. Looks like the middle sector and the final part of the lap is a bit wetter, but still there is a noticeable dry line. With 2 laps to go, it's probably not worth pitting. Here's Pano now on the inside of Tommy Toth this time, still unable to make it work. He's only got 2 laps left, but Tommy Toth, his exit is a bit compromised by that arrows. David Pano will have the better exit now, heading towards turn 1. He gets in the slipstream of Tommy Toth. Will he try anything into turn 1? He still just can't quite get that close. Meanwhile, the 2 title rivals, Etienne Jones goes very defensive, moves to the inside, covers off Sean Sutherland for the time being. And I see a bit of debris going somewhere there. Was that just Brandon Liu going over a curb or something? Yes. I thought there might have been some contact between the 2 title rivals of Sean Sutherland and Etienne Jones. We still have this battle for the win going on as well. Tommy Toth against David Pano. David Pano, of course, in a much faster car, but Tommy Toth has driven a brilliant race today, defensively. The Ferrari of Leighton is shooting it, and the Sauber of Loldemex getting caught behind the arrows. Let's see though, with a lap and a half to go, in wet, dry conditions, who will come out on top between these 2? Pano has yet another try up the inside of the Peraltada. This is probably one of his last chances. But Tommy Toth, he's got a problem. Tommy Toth has a Oh my god, that didn't just happen. Tommy Toth has to retire the car at the last minute, coming onto the final lap. What has just happened there? So that's a puncture, I believe. Yeah, puncture for Tommy Toth coming onto the final lap. Those wet tyres just couldn't take the dry conditions anymore. They were starting to overheat. And he's out of the race. The 2 Toyotas coming side by side through the Peraltada. And the McLaren Dryseat gets up into P7, that is now, after the retirement of that Jaguar. But that does mean David Pano is gifted the win of this race. He gets very lucky with that one. Sad stuff there for Tommy Toth there, who was just lost out on the win. I think his season has been just as good as Constant Skywalker's, if I'm honest. He just way less lucky, and hopefully he will have better luck in 2004 at least. The Jaguars seem to be very interested in keeping him, at least according to rumours. And still we have these 2 going at it, coming into the final corner. Will Sean Sutherland make a move on his title rival? No, he'll just get boxed out. But David Pano will win the Mexican Grand Prix on the last lap after Tommy Toth's misfortune. It's happened to so many drivers this season, and Tommy Toth is the next one to get unlucky. Etienne Jones will take 2nd place with his title rival, in fact extending his gap by 2 points now to Sean Sutherland. Kingsley Camisoto will finish 4th, Nathan Deschutes here 5th, and Alex Loldemex will finish 6th place. McLaren Dryseat 7th, and Simon Nathaniel, has he had a bit of a problem? Because he has lost a lot of time. Oh, I know what's happened. McLaren Dryseat has actually pitted for dry tyres on that last lap there. I'm not sure if he might have had damage, but either way he gained so much time on Simon Nathaniel on that last lap, setting the fastest lap, of course. Simon Nathaniel getting that final point, and these 2 just missing out on the points. You might even see a move for P9 in the last part of the lap. No, a bit opportunistic there from John O'Sultadell. It was always worth a try. Alright, let's go to see the race results now. David Pano very lucky at least, while Tommy Toth just had the opposite effect. So sad for the Hungarian. Here's a lap chart. Tommy Toth once again leading for so long, only for that puncture to happen. The fastest lap by a long way goes to McLaren Dreitig, and I think Miguel Rivera set that lap on dry tyres as well, if I'm correct. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in Japan, in Motegi, for what will always be a good race. Etienne Jones now leads the championship by a long way. Well, not a long way, but it's still 8 points, which is a substantial gap coming into the last races. We'll have to see what happens. Motegi is always dramatic, Indianapolis is always dramatic, and Interlagos is always especially dramatic. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching.